just who I am. If it's there, I'm going to eat it. How's everybody? Good. Now we're talking. Everybody getting ready for Santa Claus? No? Ready or not, here he comes. I tell you. No, you do not. I'll speak to that. That woman has been working on Santa Claus for a month already. I'm just telling you. So it's good to see everybody. Give you a chance to sit down here before we get started. And I will tell you, before we do, that Brother Carr is traveling on business. And he got his lovely wife with him. And they'll be back next week. And I know you'll be glad. But that's where he's at today. And this is all you got left. So we're going to do our best to hold it down until he gets back. So if you have your Bible, go ahead and let's turn to Jonah. We may hit that a lick or whatever, but what my intent today is to do the final review on the book of Jonah. And Brother Carr has done a great job going through that. And it's in our study of the minor prophets, and Jonah is probably the 5th book, I think it is, in the minor prophets. But it's a short book. And I will encourage you, it takes literally, it takes less than 10 minutes to read the book of Jonah. You sit down and go in the corner and you read it. But the thing about it is rich in principles for an individual, for a nation, for a lot of things. So what we want to try to do today is just kind of wrap up the book of Jonah and try to reflect on that as we go through there. So any comments as we go along, because I want to ask you a few questions, and hopefully that it makes sense, and so we can get from end to end and we have a good summary of the book. All right, so here we are. We call it the final review of Jonah. All right, come on in, folks. All righty. So what I typically do when I look at anything, I try to look at it from a historical point of view, and then I look at it from the spiritual point of view, because a lot of times when you look at the history of a subject, it makes the scriptures come alive to me. And hopefully that's what I want to attempt to do here in our closing remarks about the book of Jonah. So let's get started. And I call this Jonah, his mission, and the historical view to begin with. The one, just a word about these dates. There's very few dates you can be pinpoint in history, but they work real hard and they narrow down these statements to a lot of times to a window of time. And that window of time, when you look at it, still tells you a story. Even though, you know, my birthday is November the 21st, your birthday is this, it's not quite like that when you look at the history of a book in the Bible, but sometimes you can be pinpoint. History does tell you exactly when it happened. So as we go through this historical view real quick, some of these dates are pinpoint, but some of them are arranged, just like the one you see up there, and that is the time when Jonah preached to the city of Nineveh. All right? There's a couple of things that I want to point out that hopefully makes this a little richer for you. And one is that Jonah preached in between 780 and 760 BC. All right? And Nineveh, when you hear people talk about Nineveh over and over again, they're talking about the Assyrians. That's who they are, the city of... And Nineveh, at one point, just as a point of reference, became the capital city of the Assyrians. All right? So the other thing that I found out was unique about this is that where Jonah was born in his home city was a little country town, a little rural, but it was 600 miles from Nineveh. And it would take him a month to get there to preach. Now that right there would make me, man, I got to walk a month to preach to people I don't like. So I found that interesting. And the other thing I want you to keep in mind as we go through this summary is that when Jonah preached to the Assyrians, they were somewhat weak. They had some internal strife, infighting, if you will. And these